Hello again, Glitch Reaper here. I'm back for another Lycanites equipment combos video, and this time we've got one that's another staff combo. A slight modification to the Soul Solace design, only this one using the Spriggan heart part. This slight change really does reflavor it quite a bit, actually. Of course, we only have so many actual scepter parts we can use right now, so this is just kind of showing whenever you juxtapose those a bit. So this one is the War Magus' staff. I put the extra S on there, but I really meant War Magus staff, but yeah. Anyhow, kind of like a War Mage would really be more interested in. So, got some summoning functions, a life drain beam. You got this nice area of effect smack it can do if you have to hit something in melee, and maybe float an enemy around. So it's going to be a little all over the place, and I think I'll try fighting an Alpha Yeti with it. So, yeah, now remember that not all designs really have tool usage. This is more of a ranged magical weapon. It's not really going to be something where you're going to be chopping trees with it and stuff like that, so not really very tool-based this time. But tools, of course, are required to get it. And speaking of which, as usual, you'll be needing these blocks to get there. You'll be needing a lesser equipment forge, which is a crafting table and a wooden axe. You can upgrade that with an iron block to get the greater equipment forge, and after that, you upgrade the greater equipment forge with a diamond block to get the master equipment forge, which is pretty much the final iteration that you really need. Now, to actually level up the parts, you'll be needing an equipment infuser, and that is a lesser equipment forge, which is surrounded by 8 lapis lazuli in the crafting table. I just have one here for illustration. It's just a reminder. Now, remember also that most parts do have something that they will craft into that you'll be able to charge it up in the infuser. So, just put the part in over here, put in the charge in over here, and it'll give you this little experience bar that also kind of shows you how close you are to leveling it up with that kind of charges. So remember, the parts also keep their experience whenever they're put into and out of a weapon tool, so you can kind of level up as you go. So I usually base my designs on level 3, although some parts don't level, mainly the crafted ones, and one of which is going to be involved just because this is a scepter. Again, we kind of have a limited selection right now, although that may change in the future. And you can see there's various ways I've shown this off, including with Nato the Potato here, helping out. Yeah, he's assisting. Of course, this design really, it shows up pretty good this direction, but I don't know what the best one is for this particular design. Sometimes you get one that just refuses to find that perfect angle. Well, it's kind of oddly close here, but doesn't really show the pommel as well. Oh well, sometimes you just find that design that refuses to display itself properly. Oh well, actually, right here is a pretty good illustration, really. Yeah, I think that's working off for this one better. Usually that does, but whatever works. Anyhow, time to go through the actual parts you'll be needing, where to find what you're going to be hunting down, etc. Now, one of the parts you'll be needing is the Sylph Wing as a base part. Sylphs show up in the ether if you have that mod installed, but they'll also show up around what you can kind of call sacred structures. Ones that are basically just structures that are underground that they could theoretically guard. They are especially prevalent around strongholds, so whenever you're on that hunt for the end, you will probably find some sylphs hanging out. And they can unleash some they can unleash some serious havoc, and this part lets you get a portion of that for yourself. It adds not only a head part, like all base parts do, but also a pommel, which is important for getting that little extra punch on your design. It also releases an ether wave ring on hit, so whenever you're smacking the enemy with it, that ring might deploy, and it will cause the smited condition. It also can cause that on hit directly. So, if you're getting in melee combat with something, and they're getting up close and personal, and you're trying to do your mage routine, you can still hit them with it and get them a little roasted. It just won't be quite the same as trying to use the beams and stuff that it can do. So, yeah. But still, happy hunting for those sylphs. Now, your pommel part will be a Djinn cloud. Again, they like showing up all over the place, mostly really high up in the air, but on occasion they do like to float down. And they are altitude based only, but you are more likely to actually fight them if you're on top of a mountain, just because you're closer to the level they spawn at. Or maybe you're hunting Sky Islands with a mod and suddenly see some Djinn patrolling it. It can happen. This adds levitation on impact and may summon a Djinn. So you can float them, and you can have a little fighter helping you out. Summons are random, but you never know. Might come in handy. Now, the Gold Scepter head is a special exception here because you actually have to craft it. This adds the jewel slot, which you use for all scepters and staves, and it's in rods and anything you kind of want to qualify it as. Although it's usually qualified more under scepter here. But to craft this, you need 4 gold ingots and a wooden guard. The wooden guard is just 3 sticks in a horizontal line, so not really that big of a deal. But yeah, you will be needing that. Now, any crafted part at this time doesn't have any way to level up, and probably never will. They're just there for filler whenever you need just a part to give you the right slot. It's not really meant to be the fun parts. They're meant to be the functional parts of, they're just there to give you that slot. Like, for example, right now there's no other part that gives you a scepter slot in terms of the jewel that you need. Well, you can get the jewels, like the Spriggan Heart, you just can't. You just don't have an actual creature part to be a scepter head. So right now it's only the crafted part, but that's fine. Sometimes that's all you need, and it does look kind of nice on the tool. So hey, maybe you want it to be nice and gilded and just look cool. Now the Spriggan Heart, you can find these guys also all over the place. Like this is basically the budget version of a scepter here. Because Spriggans show up all over the place whenever you are trying to just punch grass, or even sometimes just harvesting crops. Basically, they show up whenever you're smacking a low-lying plant, then suddenly they just show up and shoot you with their beams. So, yeah, they're that. Now, they are weaker against axes to a degree, so you might want to be ready to chop on a moment's notice. Ints are even weaker to axes, but they show up from trees. But this is for the jewel part, not the base part. So either way, whenever you're harvesting plants, you'll be finding some interesting parts. Might want to note with Spriggan Hearts and Spriggan showing up that although I have seen them pop out of modded plants that have been low-lying to the ground, it is more common with vanilla plants, so it's easier to just punch grass. It's just easier to punch grass. Now, it adds the summoning seed as primary use, which is particularly interesting how it works. And its projectile is that's the secondary use is a life drain beam. So, basically, your attack click will be firing a summoning seed, and your use click will be doing the life drain beam. Now, the summoning seed goes under something that was originally using different things for its system, but it will gradually move to doing these custom scepters only. Right now, you have some craftable scepters you can use otherwise, and they were what this was kind of based on, and this helps you summon your minions. How the summoning seed works is a slightly alternate way than it used to be. It used to be where you just aim a portal and then your minions would show up out of that. But the summoning seed is a projectile. Whenever it hits the enemy, then your summon shows up and immediately attacks the first thing that the summoning seed hit. It may attack surrounding creatures based on your settings for your minions, and you can access that through the Lycanites interface, which you may have set to a button, and since I'm in creative, I gotta use the button, but normally you'd have a tab in survival that you could use, and you go under summoning to set your slots and their individual AI a bit. As for selecting which one on the spot, that you usually have to do with a hotkey. So I'm going to assemble this now and prepare to go for a fight, because that's what this thing's based on. So putting in my Sylph Wing, my Djinn Cloud, my Gold Scepter Head, which, yeah, just being gold is still pretty swank, and of course my Spriggan Heart. And here we go, and I will do the traditional renaming of it before actually using it that shows what it is, and that it matches the one I already got crafted. Why is that important to me? I don't know. It's just for the sake of knowing that I got it done right. You know. Sometimes I don't know why. Now you can dual wield these, and in this case it's sort of functional because then you can quickly go between right-clicking one and left-clicking with the other, whichever way you have it set up for attack and use click. So if I go into my lag surge. Okay, my things are still here. Sometimes the lag surge has meant that I have a Roa coming through, because they can move a lot of objects in a hurry, and sometimes that causes a slight lag spike. But that's only if they actually, in fact, hit a lot of entities at a time. So it's kind of rare that they go all out that way. Do I... Oh yeah, that's right, that area's got issues of its own, so might as well fight the Yeti over here. Sorry guys, if you stand too close, you might get frozen. Before that, this does look cool, dual-wielded. I mean, it really does. But yeah, these do have their full functions in both hands. It's just corresponding to which button. So since you use click to do the offhand slot always, that means that will be reserved for the beam. And if you've got one in your main hand, then it goes by attack click, so this will be the one doing nothing but minions. So let's go into survival here. Man, whenever I'm doing later modded Minecraft, I am going to somewhat miss the ability to just hit S for survival. Meanwhile, I'm going to need some ramen. And for more than one reason. Not only do I need to recover up because for some odd reason whenever I re-enter a world it doesn't always register my extra health that I have, but the fact is the Alpha Yeti loves to grab you. A lot. Like, he likes to toss you around. So that's going to be a bit of a thing. And the repulsion ability that you get from eating your ramen helps out with that. That said, time to fight my Yeti. Hello there. Have a remover. Ooh, that hit. And he hit me. Okay, too much lag. Move around, move around. Let it stop, let it stop. Hopefully. What is it with the lag party suddenly? Is something spawned in that I'm not so sure of? Is there something I'm not aware has popped up? Or is it just the fact that he's putting snow on a lot of blocks? Whoa, Nelly. Wait, come on, stabilize. Missed. Well, nope, not entirely. I'm gonna drain you because I need some extra health. Let me get up. Whoop. Okay, don't even hit the blocks after they're placed. They will still chill you. Totally forgot about that. Okay, I need to have my ramen before he grabs me. Potion power. Haha. Not letting you grab me now. You tried. But I immediately fell out now, didn't I? Thank you, Propulsion. It's a flying Yeti. Yeah, I said I could hit in melee with it if I wanted to. Whoa, this guy is super laggy today. Okay, juggle you into the air. Drain. Okay, gotcha. Got the Yeti. Whew, that was interesting. Thanks, Remobris. Whew. That was an interesting little fight I had. Very nice, actually. I got to have some ramen. Hey, you can see how that ramen's very useful. You just have that before anything tries to grapple you, and it'll immediately make it lose its grip. The status is referred to as repulsion, and so yeah, ramen works. I'm good with the ramen. I'm trying to remember, can I actually get food value out of this? No, that's just for the healing. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, I just had a interesting Yeti experience. But yeah, it's not even as much of a problem over here with the lag. So it must have been the Yeti being super snowy and just snowing everything. It's like, yeah, let's just freeze everything and see how that works. Not very well, thank you. But anyhow, I'll be logging off for now. Hope to hear from you all later. And yes, that still looks swanky. So bye for now, everybody.